Hi, I'm Saroj, an English language trainer. I teach students of all age groups from different backgrounds and with very diverse needs. They could be students preparing for the IELTS and the SAT tests. They could be housewives who want to feel a little more comfortable in an English-speaking environment. Or they could be corporate executives who want to improve their writing and speaking. They could be little children also who want to get a little more creative with the pen and who want to get their basics right. Hi friends, today I'm going to share some tips on how to speak fluently. So let's look at what all goes into making your English very fluent. First, of course, grammar, pronunciation, the use of the right phrases, collocations, contractions, linking words and phrases, and idioms. I'll go into each of these and explain how they improve the quality of our speech. Grammar. In grammar, you have to give every part of speech its due. Don't ignore the tiny conjunctions and prepositions, things like and, but. They're important. Prepositions, for, of, etc. Things like that. These are so important, so don't jumble them up. For example, the cat jumped onto the table and spilled the milk. Now, and is the conjunction here. Onto the table, onto is the preposition. So we can't mix these up ever. Then punctuation gives expression to your writing. So it's important to use it very correctly. For example, I could say, I traveled to Delhi, Lucknow, and Kanpur last week. So if I don't put a comma here after Delhi, it would sound like, for example, I traveled to Delhi, Lucknow, and Kanpur last week, right? Again, another thing to keep in mind is, don't ever skip the S sound when you're referring to the plural. And also the articles, a, and, the. They may sound very immaterial to you, but they make a world of difference to the sentence. Next, let's look at pronunciation. Now, this is different from accent. It's not the same, but try not to speak in an accent. If you're from India, speak the way Indians do. It's better not to speak in any accent which doesn't belong to you. But yes, pronouncing the words correctly is a must. And whenever you're in doubt, don't forget to use the online dictionaries. Phrases. What are these? They make our speech very interesting. They also are able to convey our thoughts in very simple language. They make our speech sound very, very natural. For example, let's look at this. The food at the restaurant didn't quite agree with me. I've not been feeling well since then. Now, agree with me. This is a phrase, right? Then let's look at another one. Back off. The farmers did not back off despite the government's threats, right? Okay. Speaking of collocations, what are they? They're a group of words that always stay together. For example, going bald, catching a cold, making the bed, laying the table, have access to. You can't mess with these words. They can't be rearranged. These indicate your comfort with the language. Let's look at a few examples. I have come to the conclusion that English cannot be learned without regular practice. So come to the conclusion is a collocation. Work on the flyover came to a stop during the lockdown. I'm having trouble with my computer. Probably you've been using these collocations regularly, but not aware of them. So it's a good idea to keep these in mind. Next, let's move to contractions. Why are they important? Remember, whenever we are speaking, words like I have, they need to be combined. They need to be put together to make your speech more fluent. For example, instead of saying, I have a lot of work to do, you can say, I've got a lot of work to do. Instead of saying, I am meeting my friends for lunch today, it should be, I'm meeting my friends for lunch today, and so on and so forth. So instead of I will, it will be I'll. Instead of he is, you could be saying he's. And instead of you are, try saying you're. You're a fabulous cook. Sounds much better than you are a fabulous cook. Next, linking words and phrases. These are very important to bind your story together. For example, the use of words like although, despite, however, in addition to, in contrast, and whatnot. They help you improve the flow of your story and your narration. Next, idioms. These add life to a conversation. They put all complex thoughts very neatly into a nutshell. For example, let's look at this. Shilpa is such an excellent communicator. Anchoring the annual event was a piece of cake for her. Now, piece of cake is an idiom. Let's look at the next one. Once in a blue moon. I visit my uncle just once in a blue moon. I know I should go more often. Raining cats and dogs. It's been raining cats and dogs in Goa all of last week. Okay. So that was our first lesson. Okay, so that was our little lesson for today. If you'd like to know more, do reach out to me through UrbanPro. I'd love to share my experiences and whatever I know with you. These are, it's the pandemic and most of us are cooped up at home. So it'll be great if we could help each other through some learning. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.